it up! Pick it up!
Well, hello and welcome to the Shallow Proclamation. My name is Paul, and as always, I'm joined by...
Russell Tovey. Oh, sorry, that's what it said. Thomas. Hi.
Gugu Mbatha Tom. We are watching the final part of The War Between the Land and the Sea. Quite looking forward to it. We've had a week's break since the last two episodes, haven't we? So this is it.
This is the end.
This is it, and we've enjoyed it so far. So interesting to see what it will stick the landing. I thought the last episode sort of was a bit of a change of direction, wasn't it? I think the romance thing was kind of inevitable, but slightly weird. I've been continually chuckling about your plenty more fish in the sea joke for the last 7 days. So.
And the bit where she's like, I'm regulating my body for you. And he's like, I'm regulating my body for you as well. What the heck?
Oh, so what's going to happen here?
Oh wait, they can summon dogs.
You eat our fish.
But you can't eat our dogs.
You can't eat our fish.
Our dogs are domesticated.
Our fish are family.
I wonder what political
Fish are family.
moments, that was commenting on. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats.
Fish are friends, not food.
Finding Nemo. What a great film.
Fish are family. Gosh, this goes from the sublime to the ridiculous.
Hmm.
Every time I go home.
It would be a shame if this really didn't stick the landing. I think it would have to be pretty bad for it to undermine the season as a whole.
She just said she sees him every time she goes home. I really think they should have removed the body from the flat. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, hello.
Oh.
Feels like it's got quite a lot of work to do this next, however long it is, this episode, because this feels more like a sort of episode 3 type situation.
I think it is a little bit longer. What is it? So it's 53 minutes in total. Like, are they gonna end the war? Is he gonna get together with Salt, or are they gonna leave it all very unresolved and ambiguous?
It's hard to see how, I mean, they can resolve this in such a way that, you know, when you have future episodes of Doctor Who, like,
Yeah.
this isn't referenced in everything.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Everyone just goes back to normal.
Yeah, forgets it happened. It's also quite hard to imagine that, you know, David Tennant's Doctor 14 hasn't turned up to do anything.
Yeah.
That's just because Rusty Davis has written himself into a corner, but...
Yeah.
What does he do? Just go and stick his head in a river and shout really loudly?
You'll never swim alone. His clothes are going to get washed away there, aren't they?
So effectively what I said is effectively what he does.
Yeah.
Sticks his head underwater and shouts, "That burger's going to go cold." Hate to see food go to waste.
Yeah. Is it a hallucination?
Don't know. I don't know. They seem like they wanted him to find her, you know?
Yeah.
I call to you every night.
Tell your people to ask Aquakind for accord. The word carries an ancient weight that every one of my kind will have to respect.
Oh gosh.
Did they give something to Barclay, like some kind of disease, or that he somehow transmitted to Salt and is transmitted to others? Like, I mean, it seems like quite. I mean,
What
hard
they
to imagine it
injected
spread that
into
much.
him. Potentially.
Water will find you.
It's like he became a hose pipe in there.
I feel that if this is sort of the way it kind of wraps up, it feels a little bit quick, doesn't it?
Quite bleak, isn't it?
We would grow
That door's really going to stop.
Yeah, just close the door. Yeah, I'm sure it's watertight.
Maybe they made some mods, to be fair.
No.
Mom,
Keep thinking.
the way he ran
The
was really
times
funny.
when the doctor is nowhere to be seen.
He said to me once, I save the human race, I don't shape the human race. You can get that wrong, all on your own.
Is he getting gills?
So Harry Potter,
Oh, yeah.
the gillyweed.
Yeah.
They're just going to sort of swim off into the sunset. Like,
Yeah. I mean, the trouble is he's still going to implode if he goes too deep, isn't he? Or has she fixed that? She's made him into like a fully water
they kind of need to
boy.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. That's that, is it? Do we not? So why did he become a fish?
Humans won the war, wiped out 90%.
Oh, hang on. We're getting some more. It's not him, Kate.
No.
Sorry, is there something wrong?
It's just that bottle. Could you go back and pick it up?
What?
Could you go back and pick it up?
What for?
If you could. Thank you.
Sorry, love. It's gone now.
Well, go back and pick it up.
You pick it up.
I'm asking you, please, to go back and pick up that bottle.
And what if I don't?
Pick it up. I said, pick it up. Pick it up!
Pick it up!
What a strange way to end the whole thing.
Kate's going, pick it up.
You'll never swim alone. Pick it up.
Okay, interesting.
So Kate's slightly unhinged.
And so the accord sort of happens, but it's just between Barclay and Salt. That's it.
But how? Did I miss something? Like how is?
Yeah, when it all went silent and it just played the cover of the David Bowie song.
Yeah.
Something happened.
So the doctor
Somehow Salt returned.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't quite stick the landing, did it?
No, I wouldn't say it did.
Certainly wasn't as much as a car crash as the final Gatwa episode. I at least felt like this had kind of committed to a direction. You didn't get a sense that tons had gone wrong and they were just having to scramble to figure out what to do at the end. But it all felt like it kind of went by quite quickly. Oh, a virus has wiped out 90% of them. Oh, the war is over. Oh, yep, she goes away, but oh yeah, Barclay can be with her, and now he's got gills and he can go really deep as well. So he's just going to live in the sea now, and his family are crying because he's left them forever.
Completely abandoned his family. Yeah.
He's going to be chilly down there in the Marianas Trench.
I was thinking like he's going to have some issues, regulating his temperature.
Maybe she'll regulate his body.
Regulate his body.
Wow.
It's a shame really that final episode has it's got kind of, in a sense, that kind of Russell T Davies thing written all over it, that kind of slightly too convenient.
Yeah.
But when you think about the reality, it's a bit like at the end of The Stolen Earth or Journey's End, isn't it? Where Rose goes off with the fake doctor, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even Russell T Davies knew at that point, he said, I think, in his book that he'd sort of written himself into a corner there, and because Rose would never settle for that,
Right. Interesting.
Really. But, for the sake of just the story, she does, Yeah, and with that, then it just felt a bit. I mean, yeah, I the Accord thing. So what was everyone going to become a fish, and they were all going to live happily after ever after if it had gone well? Like, why? Yeah, like, I don't know. Like,
Yeah, because it sort of felt like with the diplomacy, they were trying to reach some kind of accord. So why is it that saying that word kind of forces their hand? And it's like,
I
it's an ancient tradition. Um,
forces them to turn people into fish. I don't know. Like, did I miss something? Was I just too caught up in the David Bowie cover? Like,
yeah, I think it almost felt like two episodes squeezed into one, didn't it? Because I would say as a whole, the season's been quite well paced.
oh yeah,
Felt like it took its time where it needed to. This, we knew it was going to have to wrap up the war somehow and explain why, as you say, when we go back to the main show, they're not going to suddenly be referencing why there are sea devils everywhere. They were going to have to deal with that somehow. But it's like, okay, kill 90% of them, have the remainder live in a trench in the Pacific. I mean, yeah, it's. I suppose it's demonstrating. It's quite a bleak end, isn't it? Sort of demonstrating the brutality of humankind, but maybe not in the most convincing way.
yeah. I mean, yeah, it is bleak, but it just felt a little bit too rushed, a little bit too quick, for that, and just very suddenly that happens, and that's sort of the end, and it's kind of done and dusted, um,
Yeah,
and then yeah, that very last bit there with Kate as well is, I mean, for her character, firstly, it's a strange thing,
yeah,
to leave her in that state. Um, it almost feels a bit like that final scene as well is like, um, it's just the bit where it felt a bit to me like Rusty Davis going, in case you don't get it,
don't put your bottles in the sea.
yeah, put your plastic bottle in the bin.
Pick it up.
But it's so am I to take it that Rusty Davis's stance then is that we should use violent force to make people do recycle more? Is that what I'm saying? Is those people who don't fall in line with exactly what he thinks about this should be threatened with death until they comply? That's what I've taken from that final scene. It's like, forget everything else. We're going to hold a gun to your head
So
and
what
get
we
you to do
need
some recycling.
is an authoritarian environmentalist government.
Yeah, but they're the good ones. They're the good type of authoritarians
Yeah,
because,
absolutely.
they're obviously good people. Like,
Yeah, could never have any corruption among them. No.
no, not at all. There would never be such a thing. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think what I would have done, I just don't buy a virus spreading across the entire ocean so quickly.
No,
If you think how slow
too convenient.
normally viruses that are airborne travel, you think they'd be quick. But I think what I would have done, I think what would have been maybe make that land a bit better is if Severance had actually done their thing a lot earlier in the series and kind of discharged the virus. And you get a sense maybe that it's spreading and it's like causing some symptoms, but then maybe towards the end of this season it really begins to kick in and just exponentially numbers dying to the point where you can imagine that the Sea Devils would, if they're losing so many numbers, it would eventually force them to surrender. But go from such a technologically advanced species to, yeah, we're scared of you, the war's over, in about what felt like about 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Which,
I think if you'd shown that more gradually, it would have been more convincing, maybe. I don't know.
yeah, it's a shame. Yeah, that, like, I think you're right. They could have played that card earlier and even had like a sort of maybe like a solution to some of it. Like a a vaccine. Roll out the vaccines, or whatever. They could have gone down that road. It did feel a bit.
We'll offer you the vaccine if you accept our terms.
We've said about this series that the nice thing about it is that it allowed time to develop things, and didn't rush through it like lots of the recent Doctor Who has. But it's a shame that in this final episode, I mean, that could have been, if this was one episode of Doctor Who,
Yeah.
that would have been exactly the same amount of time given to the rounding up in a 45-minute Doctor Who episode as there was in this 5-part show.
Yeah.
So it's really they should have had, they should have been able to draw that out a bit further and, get a proper build up to it rather than, as you say, in what felt like effectively 5 minutes. I think as well, like, I just don't really buy the fish romance at the end of the day. Like,
Yeah, I don't really believe that he would. I mean, it seemed to imply by his family weeping that he was going away at least for some time, if not for good.
yeah.
And you kind of think, I can buy the fact that he'd want to stay in touch with her and they'd have like regular contact in secret or something. But to become a fish man, I mean, it is, that is, I don't want to spoil it, but that is kind of the Shape of Water thing though, isn't it? It was maybe kind of inevitable that a story like this, or Splash with a Tom Hanks film.
Yeah, Splash.
That's exactly, maybe it's actually a very deliberate
Classic.
homage. That's exactly how it ends, isn't it? That Tom Hanks goes in as a kind of merman at the end.
I can't remember. It's been ages. I don't think I watched Splash since I was in primary school, but yeah.
Yeah. So we maybe should have seen that coming in a way, the classic kind of fairy tale. Fish meets boy, boy becomes fish. It was going to happen, wasn't it? But again, very, very quick. Like, it might have been nice to see Barclay processing that decision. Like, he still has ties on Earth. He could still play a role in helping humans kind of make sense of this moment that's just happened. It's kind of like, what's he going to achieve now by being a fishman in a trench? Who knows? Maybe he'll appear on Top of the Pops or something.
It's just a little bit too neat, isn't it, at the end of the day, as a wrap up at the end there. I guess maybe that's one of the tricky things about setting a show within the Doctor Who universe on Earth. Like I said earlier on the episode, like, how are you going to wrap this up in such a way that it doesn't affect the rest of the Doctor Who universe and the show when it's back, if it ever comes back. But you've set such high stakes, haven't you, in the story?
Yeah,
it's quite hard to land that in a way that's going to feel realistic and not just kind of brush it under the carpet so we can move on to something else. Maybe that is the weakness, if you had a Doctor Who universe, the Whoniverse, as Rusty Davies had said, maybe I don't know, how do you do it? Can you, or do you just have to have not such high stakes all the time? It has to be more localized,
yeah.
Because otherwise, you think, why didn't the Doctor turn up? I mean, you say that about like loads of Torchwood, I guess, but like particularly now, Rusty Davies has established sort of Doctor 14 hanging around on Earth.
That is writing himself into a corner again by creating another duplicate of David Tennant's Doctor.
Yeah, it's like, do you never learn?
I've heard it said that Rusty Davies struggles to part with his creations, which I think is a very fair comment. That he does struggle with finales. I think even in the best of his era in Doctor Who, as you say, Stolen Earth, a little bit convenient. Tennant's final episode is quite overblown, isn't it? And it's like literally taking a blowtorch to the TARDIS kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think other work Rusty Davies has done, you just get a sense that he's really invested in it. He loves these characters and he loves these actors and stuff. And he kind of just struggles to quite let them land well.
Well, I wonder whether it's funny. I was thinking about it. Maybe it was today or yesterday. I've been listening to a Big Finish audio of the Eighth Doctor called Blood of the Daleks, and it's actually got Anita Dobson in, who plays Mrs. Flood in the new series. So playing a complete different character, not related at all. But I was kind of thinking about obviously her role in the show and how she effectively just sort of just disappears.
Yeah.
You know, after all the build-up of Mrs. Flood, I mean, she's the Rani, and then suddenly the new Rani appears, and she becomes a very slightly different character who almost feels subservient to the new Rani, and then she just sort of like teleports away, and that's the end of it. And it made me think it's that kind of sense. Rusty Davis does this a lot. It's that like you see when you see him in interviews before, he'll say like, "And I had this marvelous idea for, wouldn't it be great if there was like a doddery old lady, but like who is she? It's a mystery, you know." And he has all these kind of things, you know. And it used to give people like shopping lists, didn't he, for like the episodes they were going to write. So they need to have this, 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 and this.
Yeah.
And I feel like you know, it's that sense where you go, all those things sound quite cool,
Yeah.
but actually, unless you can really make them fit into a story,
Yeah.
you have to discard them. You know, and like the Mrs. Flood thing, it's like, oh, wouldn't it be great to have Anita Dobson doing this thing? Yeah, but you've not really got, where's it going to go? I don't really know yet. and then, oh, and I never knew. And actually, it just...
And the
like
reveal was quite anticlimactic. And as you say, she just disappears. Yeah.
And it's that thing about killing your darlings, isn't it? You know, you when you whatever you do, you know, I guess in whatever, you know, whatever the setting is, if you write something, you know, if you write kind of books, if you write music or whatever it is, there'll be times where you think, I love this thing, I love this idea, I love that little section, I really want to keep that. But you go, actually, the more you think about it, you go, oh, I kind of think the best thing actually would be to get rid of it, but I really don't want to. But, you know, I think, but overall, to serve the whole song or the whole story, I need to get rid of this thing. And I wonder whether Rusty Davis just can't do that. And he just, like you say, he clings on to them. But then there's not a really good resolution from them. Because he hasn't got a way to land them, perhaps.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, they did address the issue sort of the Doctor. They were like, what did they say? That line, I save humanity, I don't shape humanity. So there are a few moments in that where it felt like humanity was on the verge of complete destruction, where the Doctor might have stepped in. But I kind of get that. It's a bit like in Avengers Endgame when suddenly Captain Marvel's on the scene and they ask her, where have you been all this time if you're so powerful? And she's like, oh, there are lots of other planets that needed help as well. Or like the Jaws 2 tag, like, in all the ocean, how could there be just one? And when you are in a kind of existing universe, you do have to come up with some reason why you can't just have the Deus Ex Machina. When Tolkien was asked why don't the Eagles just pick up the ring and drop it into Mordor, he says, I'm asked this question a lot, and I here's what I say. I say, shut up.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe in this case it just hasn't quite been thought through. But overall, like a decent series, I would say. It wasn't so much of a car crash, this finale, that I now go, oh, it's a rubbish show. It was a disappointing end, but, you know, still had some heart. I still quite like Barclay's character. Yeah.
I think I'd say the first 3 episodes were really very strong.
Yeah.
And then we did say episode 4 suddenly felt like it went quite a different direction, with suddenly there's this, Salt's character felt quite different, and there's this relationship aspect all of a sudden. And then obviously what we've just said about the final episode as well. So I think, it starts very well, but doesn't quite stick the landing.
You could say it kind of rubbed salt in the wound.
Dear me. So, yeah. So I guess, like with that sort of done and dusted, we sit and we wait for what the next thing is really for Doctor Who.
Well, Christmas special, right?
Well, yeah, but I mean, I was talking about this yesterday with Sam, who some people remember was on he's been on here once or twice. Maybe even just once, I forget now. But
yeah, it was the robot episode, wasn't it? The first episode of season 2 of The Gatwa he joined us for.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Saying obviously we've got Rusty Davis, we've got the Christmas episode, presumably not been shot yet. We don't know anything about it as far as I know. I've not heard anything, but again, I've not really been, it's not like I keep my ear to the ground particularly, because just the way the show's been since sort of Well, even the Whittaker era, to be honest, you know, slightly lose heart, but even more so in the RTD2 era. But you know, what's going to happen? Is he going to do the Christmas special and step aside? Is it going to be handed over to someone else? Or is he going to carry on? And my thing is, if he carries on, I think he needs to kind of just look at what's happened the last two seasons and the way it's all been received and just kind of go, what I've done doesn't work. And he has to rethink it. I think the worst thing he could do, though, is, you know, it's if he won't eat a little bit of humble pie
Yeah,
and admit that.
yeah. And it's a shame because his first era was so good, and he clearly can write, but maybe needs more people around him to say no. But yeah, I agree. I think but I mean, it sounds cynical to say, but money and ratings do talk to some degree, don't they? And I think I don't quite know what happened with the deal with Disney, but I imagine people in the BBC will be looking at the ratings for the Gatwa era and sort of be thinking, is this a viable show in its current
Yeah, I mean,
state?
I think it does still make quite a lot of money for the BBC worldwide, you know, compared to because they
Right,
don't
sure.
really, BBC doesn't have a lot. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. There's not a lot of shows where you'd think, you know, these are worldwide phenomenons from the BBC.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Do they? Yeah, I guess there's all the merchandise and
You know,
yeah.
you know, obviously the Doctor Who's got has got a kind of a long history behind it and the stuff that comes with it. Yeah, my understanding is that from the Disney thing as well, that, you know, Disney only took Doctor Who because of Bluey. Did you hear that?
Oh no, I didn't hear that. Okay.
So I think they wanted Bluey, but someone cut a deal because they basically said if you want Bluey, you have to take Doctor Who.
Interesting.
And so they took the bait on that, but then a lot of people said Disney didn't really do anything with Doctor Who. Then it's like, I don't think they really wanted it. You know, what they wanted was Bluey, quite understandably,
Yeah.
because Bluey is a massive, massive worldwide phenomenon
Yeah.
for people. So if that's kind of the case, you can kind of see that, you know, they just kind of got it, but they didn't really do anything with it. They didn't really invest in marketing it particularly. And all just the weird missteps with the series is strange as well, isn't it? Like it's a new thing, it's a new era. We're going to call it season one, not season whatever it is now. And we are, you know, so it's a good stepping on point. But also, Rusty Davis decides to litter the whole thing with classic Doctor Who, Sutekh and Rani and all the Omega
Susan.
and continuity, Susan, and you go, what? Yeah, the choices seem bizarre, which again
Yeah.
makes you think, has he either lost the plot or is it just that everyone just thought first era was so good, surely he'll make a hit and we can't say no. I don't know.
I mean, I got the impression from that finale with Gatwa regenerating into Billy Piper and so it smacked of something had gone quite substantially wrong behind the scenes. Not saying that maybe the original script would have been like a masterpiece, but it might have been more coherent. It might have had a direction. But Gatwa pulling out and it seemed like something quite catastrophic had gone wrong.
I mean, from what I hear, like because there was scenes shot that weren't used with
Right.
Susan, like with Carol Ann Ford playing Susan at the end of the story with Poppy, and saying something about like, you know, like Poppy was Susan's mum. You know, like there was some reference to that, and part of me goes, "Well, thank goodness that didn't happen." Like that, I think was if Gatwa was staying. But again, you kind of look at that and you just think, gosh, that's awful. Like, how did we even get Poppy? Like, how did that even become a thing?
Space babies.
Space babies. Like, it's the mind boggles. It really does. You know, like I'm not ever going to sit here and claim that I could even at all run a show like this. Wouldn't have the first idea, but I tell you, whatever anybody came up with, I'd definitely say, let's not do Space Babies as the first one, or maybe at all. Like. I'll give you that. Like, I feel I've got enough, you know, savvy to know that. Yeah, and it's tough, isn't it? Because obviously Gatwa, I think it was the case, wasn't it? From my understanding, that Disney was sitting on it, not wanting to commit to anything. They were
Yeah.
waiting to get season 2 out the way, waiting to get the war between the land and the sea out the way. And his career was effectively on hold. And he was getting offered stuff in other places. I mean, I heard that he had, because of Doctor Who, he had to turn down, I think, some advert in America,
Right.
which he would have got paid more for one advert than he did for all of Doctor Who. So you can kind of understand that, being frustrated. And a few people have said, I think we shared this. I think I shared this on the Discord. Someone I can't remember what it was. What was the Richard Osman? What's the Richard Osman thing he does?
Rest is entertainment. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Where they talked a bit about Doctor Who and sort of how almost. I think it was them who was saying Gatwa never seemed to like inhabit the role in the way a lot of other doctors do. Like it's more than just getting on the screen. It's
I saw
something
that clip. You're kind of an ambassador. You're picking up the mantle. This is going to become part of your life from now on. But he wasn't at kind of conventions and stuff, and he did a couple of shows during it. And they put quite a lot of blame on Gatwa himself, didn't they? Which was.
Well, I think they said he was
maybe
miscast, didn't they? And really,
right.
But they didn't really level enough criticism. I don't think they really leveled any criticism towards Rusty Davis, which is where I think the lion's share of the problem lies. But
yeah, I think Gatwa with really good stories could have been quite a good Doctor, actually. I think there were flashes of where I was like, I can sort of see you as a Doctor, but not many. But I don't think that was his fault as an actor. I think what he was working with was pretty.
Yeah, well, he obviously didn't have great material. I mean, his thing, and I don't know whether I'm out of line for saying this. Like, so when I saw him in Sex Education,
Yeah.
I thought Sex Education was brilliant.
Yeah.
And when he was announced as being the new Doctor, I was like, oh, I was really excited, as were some people I knew who had been sort of into Doctor Who in the Tennant era and stuff, and they said, oh, I might start watching again.
Yeah. Interesting.
But what I felt was that like his portrayal of the Doctor was almost just like he was a bit like he was Eric from Sex Education, and I have and I kind of get the impression that Ncuti Gatwa, he is just that. He is a bit like Eric, and he is a bit like the Doctor, the way he portrayed them. And part of me, because a lot of people are saying, oh, he's this amazing actor and he's got all these opportunities and yada yada. And part of me does kind of wonder, like, is he that good? Is he just playing himself?
How versatile an actor is
Yeah,
he?
exactly. Is he that versatile? Did he not really have the versatility to play the Doctor, and so just played a sort of even more kind of amplified version of himself? I don't know. I mean, obviously, Tom Baker is just himself.
Yeah,
Right, that is the thing. But Tom Baker's a very eccentric. Tom Baker's a very sort of eccentric chap in the first place. So whereas you can't say that about Gatwa, he's not that kind of person. I might be wrong, like he maybe he's got more to him, but I don't. The show certainly didn't allow him to showcase that.
Yeah.
But the Billy Piper thing is just smacks of desperation, and it smacks of just trying to do something to get people to keep watching. It's a
kind of
it's a
last
spectacle.
ditch attempt.
Yeah.
So I'm so intrigued by what's gonna. I mean, this Christmas special is such an unknown. Who's the Doctor? Is the Doctor going to be in it?
Where's it pointing?
Set something up? Is it?
Yeah. Where's it heading? And that's the thing, is if it's a Rusty Davis, if it's going to be his last thing, is there someone else who's going to come in, and where they want him to land it in a certain area for them? Or if Rusty Davis is going to carry on, what direction will he go in?
I think I agree with Mark Gatiss of give it another wilderness era. So it can actually be good for the show potentially. Let it rest, and then come back completely fresh.
It's really hard though, because the thing is though, in the wilderness era now, You've got to remember that, like, so I mean, I grew up in the Wilderness era. So when I was watching Doctor Who as a kid and watching the repeats on BBC Two and then buying the videos, like, no one else my age was watching Doctor Who. Like, it wasn't even talked about.
Yeah.
Like, people weren't aware of it. Like, because it had never been on when we were young. And as far as we talk about the Wilderness years now, like, there was that gap, and obviously then there was the movie and stuff, and then obviously, it came back in 2005.
Yeah.
But as far as we were concerned, like, Doctor Who was finished.
Right. Yeah.
It wasn't like Doctor Who is just on a break. It was like, well, that's just how Doctor Who finished, isn't it? That's the end of Doctor Who now.
Right.
And then
Interesting.
so for that time, when the film came out in 1996, and they were saying, oh, there's going to be this thing with Paul McGann, and it's going to be like the pilot for a new series, and they're going to try and relaunch it. Because they were going to redo like a lot, but it was going to be weird because they were going to do like the Pyramids of Mars as like a story, but with Paul McGann. So it was going to be like a rebooted,
Oh, right. Oh,
within
yeah.
his season, whatever he got, but because it wasn't hugely well received, it never made it to a season.
Yeah.
So, but up to that point, you're thinking, well, Doctor Who is done. And then after the movie died, you're like, well, Doctor Who's really done now.
Yeah.
Like there's no way it's coming back after that. And so, yeah, the idea of moving into another wilderness period is like,
Yeah.
it's not with the sense of like, oh, we're just going to put it on a hiatus for a while. It's like, well, that may just be the end of it.
Yeah.
Like,
But we all know, don't we, that with these franchises, that when they appear dead, someone's gonna
somehow the Doctor returned.
Yeah. Like the Halloween franchise has a ridiculous number of films and reboots and stuff. And then I heard actually the 2018 one, which was just called Halloween, and it discounted all the previous sequels, and it was a direct sequel to the original. Apparently that was very good. But then it had two further sequels, which were apparently terrible. But
it was like H2O Resurrection and I don't know, like I lost track of them all.
Zombie films,
Yeah. I mean, in one sense, I can't see the BBC now letting it go in the sense of just like, let's wrap it up and be done.
Right.
Because I think it is financially a money spinner for them ultimately.
And I think when the modern era people who grew up with the modern era like me, as long as we're still alive, there's kind of a market for the show if the show's good again. Kind of like how I guess the 2005 could get a boost because all the classic era fans were like, oh, Doctor Who's back. Yeah. There was a kind of audience waiting for it. But yeah, we'll see. It's
strange to think that.
And the classic era fans are still alive, by the way, many of them. Just to clarify. But yeah, if we're talking sort of if Doctor Who comes back, 30 years down the line or something.
But I mean, those wilderness years felt like such a long time.
Yeah.
But in reality now, it feels like quite a short period.
Yeah, because how long was it in total? It was like...
Well, so 1989 it finished, and then the movie was 96, and then it came back in 2005.
Yeah.
So it's only really sort of 16 years with a bit of stuff in the middle. And if there was ever anything ever Doctor Who done, that it was like comic relief parody special type kind of spoofy things. But the show's been back on now for a long time. It's been back on for sort of coming up to 21 years.
Yeah.
Which is nuts.
That is crazy, isn't it?
Because I still think of Doctor Who sort of, it's a new thing back on the telly. Like,
yeah.
But, in the classic era, sort of that would be sort of 1984. Most of it's done, So
yeah.
We will see. We'll keep watching these spaces to see what happens. And if you're still watching at this point, well done.
Yeah. Sorry, I mean, we went off it, but it was quite interesting to go on that detour because this is the most recent piece of Doctor Who content we've had, and it's kind of leaves it in a weird place.
It would be interesting to know if you are still watching, like, what do you think is the next steps for the show? So, Christmas special, what do you think we're looking at here? Do you think Rusty Davies will or should continue? If you think we need something else, what do you think? Does it need a rest? Or do you think we need a new person to come in and run it? What do you think it should be like? The style of it, the tone of it? Should it be one person running it? Should it be a kind of team, a writer's room style thing? Should it be back to 13 episodes of separate stories? Or should it be a 5-part flux style thing? Or I don't know. Like, I'd be really interested to know what the kind of appetite is.
Yeah.
What makes me sad is when people say they feel there should be a wilderness era, because I mean that feels like you've just given up. Like, it might not come back, folks. Like,
Yeah,
but,
sorry for saying that.
yeah, you've put a real downer on this. Like,
No, I would love for the show to continue. I just struggle to see without how kind of going, all right, we're gonna run at something quite new, trying to pick up the threads that have been left feels like a tricky task. But I'm happy to be proven wrong.
Yeah. Well, we'll see, won't we?
Yeah.
So, anyway, yeah. Well, thanks everyone. Let us know what you made of that last episode as well, and we'll be back again soon for the rest of season 13.
Yeah.
I think it is. Yeah. So we'll be rounding that off. Carry on with that era. Lots of still happy things to enjoy from there. So there will be plenty of Doctor Who content, regardless of what goes on in 2026 Doctor Who. So, cool.
Brilliant stuff. Thanks, guys. Goodbye.
Cheers. Bye-bye.